good to be back. What's up everybody, Billy from Typical Reviews here, and I hope everyone had a great holiday at the end of 2015 there. And this is our first video back for 2016, so let's make this one awesome. So today we're unboxing the Samsung SSD 850 EVO. This is the 500GB version, and you can pick yourself up one from Amazon for around $160 or so, so if you'd like to check that out, check out the description below for a link to that. So you might be asking yourself, what is an SSD and how is it different from a conventional hard drive or an HDD? SSD stands for solid state drive, while HDD, the more traditional hard drives as we know them, stands for hard disk drive. Now essentially they both do the same thing, which is store your data, retrieve it when you request it, that kind of stuff, but they both have their pros and cons. First of all, the traditional HDD or hard disk drive uses metal platters that actually spin around and a read-write head on it to actually read or seek your data and even write to it as well. That's why sometimes when you have those conventional hard drives, you can actually hear it kind of spinning up because it's trying to spin those platters to try to either find your data or maybe even trying to write to it. SSDs on the other hand are a lot quieter. You won't even hear them in operation because they actually store all of your data, read or write, to these little flash memory drives, kind of like the little thumb drives that you can stick on your computer, but these ones are much more robust and they're much more expensive, and that's why SSDs are more expensive than just regular USB thumb drives, but they're both flash memory based. Without going much more in depth into the differences between SSDs and HDDs, you could just think about SSDs as being a lot faster in terms of reading and writing because they use flash storage instead of spinning metal platters and a read-write head. They're also much more durable because there are no moving parts. So if you have one of these inside of a laptop, if you drop it, there is the case for concern that your laptop hard drive might be damaged in there because of the moving parts, but there are no moving parts inside an SSD. And last but not least is power consumption. These do consume a lot less power, also for the fact that there aren't any moving parts. But on the other hand, traditional HDDs are better in terms of price per gigabyte, because you can get, let's say, a 500GB hard drive for a lot less than you would for an SSD, and the storage capacities are a lot higher. Usually SSDs, at least consumer grade ones, don't go too much greater than a couple of terabytes, while a traditional HDD can. So traditional HDD is better for storage purposes, and this one's a lot better for just, real world application usages. A very popular and common setup would actually be to have a SSD as your main hard drive, where it stores your operating system and your applications, and having a traditional HDD as all of the places that you put your storage things because they're a lot cheaper. And that's actually what I'm going to be doing for mine. I'm going to be upgrading my computer to have this SSD as the main drive with my operating system and applications, and using my HDD as just a storage device. That was a little bit of detail and differences between an SSD and an HDD, so hopefully you guys are a little bit more aware of the differences now. But you know what? This one's about the unboxings, so let's unbox the Samsung SSD 850 EVO 500GB, and let's see what you get inside. And here we are with the Samsung SSD 850 EVO, the 500GB version. I believe these do go up to a terabyte. Don't quote me on this one, maybe even 2, but there are the 125, either 120 or 125 or 240. But I got the 500GB. I'm going to be using this as my main drive to be able to boot really quickly into Windows and to be able to run my applications really, really quick. So just a whole bunch of technical mumbo jumbo in a whole bunch of languages in the back as well. Nothing too exciting there. Nothing really too exciting anywhere around there either. But you know what? That's not what we're here for. We're not here to read the outside of the boxes. We're here to unbox this instead. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna cut this thing open without hurting myself, hopefully. There we go. Wait, so no one else gets hurt, especially not myself. There's a nice little pull tab on the bottom here, and we'll pull it out to reveal. Oh, that is just majestic there. That is a nice matte black finish on the hard drive. Okay, let's just push this all off to the side. Let's just admire the hard drive for a second here. That is like the 2.5-inch one, so this isn't going to fit even into your regular desktop PC as well. These ones are made more for the laptop form factors, but it'll fit into a hard drive, regular hard drive caddy as well. Usually there's the appropriate screws for it anywhere on the bottom there. And there you have your SATA ports for power and for data transfer. The 500GB model over here, it's nice, and it feels like there's just magic in here. This thing is so light and so small, it just feels like there's magic. That's what's powering these things. It's not the flash memory storage I was talking about, it's magic. This thing is pretty awesome. It'll look great inside your any computer that you would have, and the wonder of this is that it's supposed to be really, really quick. So let's just see what else is included in the rest of the box. Looks like it's just on the bottom there. Installation guide. It's handy there if you're ever doing it for the first time. The warranty for it. And this also actually has the software in it over here, so you can actually transfer your information from your current hard drive into your into this SSD. So you would plug this one, hook this up via some sort of dock to your current computer, install the software included into here, and then do the transfer, so it'll transfer your current state of your computer onto this SSD, and then you turn off your computer, you take this SSD, you put it into your computer, you load it up, and then your computer will now be running off of this SSD instead of your old drive, and it'll be blazing wicked fast. It used to be the case back in the day when someone wanted to upgrade their computer because, it was feeling kind of sluggish or slow. People would say, you know what, get some more RAM for your computer so you can run a little bit more applications now in the background and other processes at the same time. But nowadays, I'm thinking that the biggest improvement, in my opinion, is got to be if you still have a traditional HDD and you switch to an SSD is where you're going to see the biggest improvement in terms of loading times for your operating systems and applications when you're loading them up too. Ever since I've switched to one of these, it's been honestly one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. And anybody who can attest, if they've switched from a traditional HDD to an SSD, how much quicker their computer is after that. But as I mentioned earlier, they are a little bit more expensive in terms of dollars per gigabyte, and they also have a lower storage capacity, but they are wicked fast. And if you have it as just your primary operating systems on here and your applications, and then you use a HDD as your storage, that's usually the best way to have kind of best of both worlds. So you have the speed still, and you have the storage capacity. So in my opinion, that's probably the best way that you can roll that way. And as always, thank you guys very much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this unboxing and would like to see more, be sure to press that like button and be sure to subscribe to us over here at Typical Reviews. As always, thank you very much for watching. I hope you have an awesome day, and peace out.